For decades, the battle against cancer has been defined by a single, devastating reality. By the time most people experience symptoms, the disease has already advanced. We have spent billions of dollars developing cutting-edge treatments for late-stage tumors, yet the holy grail of oncology has remained elusive, a way to find cancer before it becomes a threat. But as we move through 2026, we are witnessing a paradigm shift that could finally end the era of late-stage diagnosis. At the center of this revolution is the Galleri blood test, a groundbreaking technology that aims to detect over 50 types of cancer from a single draw of blood. With the highly anticipated 2026 results from the landmark NHS Galleri trial now coming to light, the medical community is asking a historic question. Are we looking at the end of late-stage cancer as we know it? To understand why the Galleri blood test is such a massive deal, we first have to look at the current state of cancer screening. Today, most countries only have standard screening programs for 5 specific types of cancer: breast, cervical, colorectal, lung for smokers, and prostate. While these programs save countless lives, they leave a massive diagnostic gap. More than 70% of cancer-related deaths are caused by types that have no recommended screening, such as pancreatic, ovarian, and esophageal cancers. These silent cancers often go undetected until they reach stage 3 or IV, where the survival rates drop significantly. For example, if pancreatic cancer is caught early, the 5-year survival rate is much higher. But because it is usually found late, the survival rate remains tragically low. This is the late-stage problem that has haunted medicine for a century. The goal of multi-cancer early detection, MCED, is to flip the script, moving from a system where we wait for symptoms to one where we proactively hunt for molecular signals in the blood of healthy individuals. The magic behind the Galleri test lies in a biological phenomenon known as cell-free DNA, cfDNA. Every cell in your body, including cancer cells, sheds fragments of DNA into your bloodstream as they live and die. Cancerous cfDNA carries specific molecular fingerprints that distinguish it from healthy DNA. The Galleri blood test uses advanced machine learning and genomic sequencing to look for methylation patterns on these DNA fragments. Think of methylation as a series of chemical on-off switches on the DNA. Cancer cells have distinct, chaotic methylation patterns that act like a signature. By analyzing these signatures, the test can not only detect if cancer is present, but also pinpoint the signal origin, identifying which organ the cancer is coming from with over 90% accuracy. This allows doctors to bypass months of diagnostic uncertainty and go straight to the source with targeted imaging like PET or CT scans. The year 2026 marks a historic milestone for this technology because of the NHS Galleri trial in the United Kingdom. Launched in 2021, this is the world's largest study of its kind, involving 140,000 volunteers between the ages of 50 and 77 who had no history of cancer in the last 3 years. The goal was simple but ambitious: to see if adding the Galleri test to routine care could significantly reduce the number of late-stage cancers diagnosed in a real-world population. As we look at the 2026 status, the trial has moved from its initial recruitment phase into the critical readout phase. Scientists are now analyzing 5 years of data to determine if the test successfully stage-shifted the population. Stage shifting means finding cancers at stage 1 or 2 that would have otherwise been missed until they reach stage 4. The preliminary 2026 data suggests a significant uptick in early-stage detection for some of the deadliest cancers, including lung and GI tract tumors. This real-world implementation is the ultimate stress test for multi-cancer early detection, proving that the technology can work within a massive national healthcare infrastructure. The most vital question for any new medical test isn't just, does it find cancer, but does finding cancer earlier actually save lives? In 2026, the clinical results are finally providing clarity on cancer mortality rates. Detection is only half the battle. The other half is effective treatment. The 2026 results indicate that for certain cancers, specifically those that are traditionally aggressive, the Galleri test is providing a lead time of months or even years. By finding a tumor when it is still localized, surgeons can remove it before it metastasizes, potentially moving the needle on overall cancer mortality rates for the first time in decades. However, the data also highlights a nuance. The test is much better at finding aggressive, fast-growing cancers than slow-growing ones. While some critics argue this could lead to overdiagnosis, the 2026 consensus is that the ability to catch the killers, those aggressive cancers that cause the majority of deaths, outweighs the risks of finding indolent tumors. Despite the excitement, the path to 2026 hasn't been without its hurdles. One of the biggest concerns with any multi-cancer early detection tool is the false positive. If a blood test says you have cancer, but you don't, it can lead to unnecessary anxiety and invasive, expensive follow-up tests. The Galleri test has worked hard to maintain a high specificity, meaning its false positive rate is very low, less than 1%. However, in a population of millions, even a 1% error rate means thousands of people facing a cancer scare. There is also the issue of cost and equity. In 2026, the Galleri blood test is still relatively expensive, often costing around $900 per test in the private market. For this to truly end late-stage cancer, it must be accessible to everyone, not just those who can afford it. The results of the NHS Galleri trial are essential here. If the UK government decides to roll this out as a standard part of the National Health Service, it will set a global precedent for making MCI a public health right rather than a luxury. As we analyze the 2026 landscape, we are seeing the beginning of a shift from sick care to well care. We are moving toward a future where a yearly blood draw at your local pharmacy could tell you your cancer status before you ever feel a lump or an ache. This is not just a technological advancement, it is a psychological one. The fear of a late-stage surprise is slowly being replaced by the confidence of early detection and intervention. The multi-cancer early detection revolution is also changing how we design clinical trials. Pharmaceutical companies are now looking at how their treatments work on these microcancers. Tumors so small they are only visible at the DNA level. If we can treat cancer when it is just a cluster of cells detected by cell-free DNA, the harsh chemotherapy and radiation of the past might eventually become obsolete. So is this truly the end of late-stage cancer? While we haven't cured the disease, the 2026 data from the NHS Galleri trial suggests we are effectively demoting it. By stripping cancer of its greatest weapon, the element of surprise, we are turning a once-terminal diagnosis into a manageable, treatable condition. The Galleri test represents the first generation of a tool that will only get smarter. As machine learning models process the data from hundreds of thousands of patients, the sensitivity for even the rarest cancers will improve. We are currently standing at the threshold of a new age in human health, where the total body scan of the future is simply a vial of blood and a sophisticated algorithm. The rise of multi-cancer early detection is one of the most significant stories in modern science. But it raises big questions. Would you want to know if you had a high-risk DNA signal, even if no tumor was visible yet? Does the benefit of early detection outweigh the anxiety of the testing process? If you found this deep dive into the Galleri blood test and the future of oncology helpful, make sure to hit the like button. It helps us bring these important medical breakthroughs to more people. And if you want to stay updated on how cell-free DNA and other technologies are changing the world in 2026 and beyond, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We're tracking these trials closely, and you won't want to miss our next update on the fight against cancer. Thanks for watching and stay healthy.